All right, let's go. What's going on, everybody? Republic Cinema here, and in this video, we're going to be doing an updated collection tour. There's not much that has been updated, except for one bit, which we'll get to later. I figured we're basically just halfway into this year, so I wouldn't mind doing an updated figure collection. Now, no, I still can't show off my room yet, as it's still a bit of a mess. Eventually we'll get there. Now, before I show all of these figures here, what once was where I put my stuff is now just storage where I put Halo boxes. Yeah, I got into Halo. You can see that big thing right there. That was a farm vehicle, apparently. And then, of course, there's that charging cable before. You've seen that before, I think. My fancy laptop. Oh, and this big bad toy store box, which once was empty, not anymore. On the top drawer is just randoms, and then on the other drawer is more Halo. Nice. And at the very bottom is just random green screen stuff, bags for my studio lights, and my desk. Not much going on here. And of course, over here is where I have all of my drawers, which has quite a little bit of stuff. I never showed you this, but this is where I keep all my action figure accessories and other stuff that and extras, pretty much. Same thing with this drawer, and the rest is just random non-Transformers related things. But anyways, back to the real deal, starting with the smaller shelf. Starting with the top, here we have the shelf of figures from Transformers 4 and 5. Of course, I blended them both together, as there's not much from Transformers 4 and 5 that Studio Series did, but a buttload of underrated figures, as we have this nice Grimlock here, this guy right there, the helicopter drift. Really nice figure, actually. I got him for 35 bucks. Yeah, I'm not joking on that. And of course, the twins from World War II. Here's some more TLK figures and the quartet of very expensive figures. Oh, and these two. Can't forget Galvatron, and of course my boy, the KSI boss. This thing's pretty hard to find, actually. And now moving on to the 2007 shelf. I try to keep it in the mix of the oldest 07 Studio Series figures to the newest, but I kind of messed that up. But either way, still looking good. And of course, we have the infamous Studio Series Ironhide. And on the back, of course, we have Starscream, Blackout, Brawl, Megatron, Bumblebee, Bone Crusher, Barricade, Prime, Bumblebee, Ironhide, Jazz, and Ratchet. I don't know why I summarized all these guys. Over here, we have the Revenge of the Fallen shelf, which was not updated. Over here, we got the biggest and the smallest in the front, of course. We got a couple Voyagers, actually. There's like, what, 5 Voyagers here? And 5 Deluxes, nice. And 3 Leader Class, actually 6 Deluxes if you count RC Elita and Chromia, which isn't here because I don't have a proper stand for her. Whenever that Revenge of the Fallen multi-pack comes out for the 15th anniversary of Transformers 2, I definitely getting that and putting it onto the shelf, as it would be really cool to see jet-powered Prime right smack in the middle. I suppose that's 2 Jetfires in one shelf. Nice. But here's the Dark of the Moon shelf, which is also not updated, but still looking pretty good, as I pretty much have every single figure from the Studio Series that is Dark of the Moon related, except Hatchet, Q, and maybe a proper Dark of the Moon Ironhide. And of course, we have Thundercracker. Can't forget Thundercracker. And we also have the more hard to find figures right here. These are all hard to find. Holy smokes. I cannot believe how much the records are. I did not think they were that much. So to anyone who has these, congrats, because these are very expensive. And then we turn over here, there's more older figures. Can't wait for Q and Hatchet. And one more thing, of course, we have Prime and Megatron put together because they're pretty much brothers, despite them being arch nemesises. I don't know what I said there. Now, before we do the Rise of the Beast shelf on the bigger shelf, I just want to pay a little bit of attention to these set of boxes that I have over here. There hasn't really been much update, kind of, other than that Javelin and I forgot the other bot's name, 2-pack. Oh, and I still have that Bumblebee sealed in box, because why not? Oh, and I have more Yellow Park boxes, of course. But anyways, with the Rise of the Beast shelf, of course I kept the mainline stuff, and of course I have Nightbird right in the back, because I don't know what to do with her. And of course we have the Studio Series Rise of the Beast figures, which this is a lot. Oh, I feel like we're still missing some characters from Rise of the Beasts, which eventually we'll be getting more figures of them next year. We've already got 2 for this year, that being Pablo and Scorponok. Yep, can't wait for that other one. I forgot his name, but I think he's supposed to be a bluer version of this guy. But anyways, over here we got Mirage and Noah, and we also have Battle Trap, which I did not know is that much now. And of course we have Scourge, which is also pretty expensive. Same thing with Optimus Prime right there. And then moving on to one of the shelves that I am most excited to showcase, which has also gotten a 7-figure update. Well, actually no, 4-figure update. We're still missing 3 of the 7. Those are coming out in the next half of this year. Of course, I'm talking about the Bumblebee movie shelf. Every Bumblebee figure that you could think of is in this shelf. Well, most of them. That's omitting the premium finished versions, the updated Bumblebee from next year, and 3 others. As you can see, I have the Seekers in the back. It's going to be a little difficult trying to relocate where the Seekers are going to be put in the back, as of course Skywarp is coming out next, and that's going to mess things up. Also, I have like a buttload of Bumblebees here, and you may remember these were from the miscellaneous shelf. Well, I had to move them because we'll talk about that later. As you can see, if we move a little more to the left, there's more of the Bumblebee movie figures of characters that were from Cybertron. And of course, Megatron and Shockwave will be the highlights, as they are in the center of the shelf, along with all 3 variations of the Cliffjumper mold. Why exactly do I have Cliffjumper in the center of the Bumblebee movie shelf rather than Bumblebee? I don't know. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the Transformers Bumblebee movie shelf for Studio Series. Of course, I don't have all the figures, as I can't wait for them to be in stock so I can complete this, but I guess that'll have to wait next year. And this is actually a pretty big update, as this shelf was kind of smaller 6 months ago. But as we move under the Bumblebee movie shelf is the G1 shelf, or that's what I like to call it, because everything's from G1 pretty much. Most of it being from Transformers Studio Series 86, and some of it being from Legacy, and a little more being from the War for Cybertron. Now on this shelf, I wanted to organize them from oldest to newest, as of course you can see that with the War for Cybertron Kingdom, that being the last one for that line, and the early figures of the Studio Series 86 right over here. It's kind of loaded. There's a lot of figures here, actually. But the more you go right, the smaller the figures get. And no, I did not update my Legacy Blaster for the Studio Series one. I really don't care. And I have Coronation Starscream right in the center, because it's funny. And I think I mentioned this before, but behind Ultra Magnus is a spot for Swoop. Now moving on to a more cooler bit, my movie toys. Oh, don't mind this. Don't mind that. Now what I did was have the 4 and 5 figures on the left and the 1, 2, and 3 figures on the right. As you can see, there was a slight update here, as I was finally able to obtain both versions of the Hound and another Crosshairs. Oh, and this guy. I had him before, so I really wanted him back. And the same thing with Voyager class TLK Hound over there. As for the older movie toys, not much has changed. I did not get any more figures, as I could barely fit any of them into this shelf. I'm glad this shelf is pretty big and tall. Otherwise, it would not have been possible to store all these figures in one shelf. And then the last shelf is just where I keep all the boxes of knockoff figures that I've gotten over here. I really don't know where else to put them. Eventually, I'm going to have to use this shelf for some figures, but that's probably not going to be in a while. Oh, and speaking of boxes, I decided to move all my Studio Series boxes from where my desk is located next to this shelf right here. Because why not? I suppose there was a slight update, as I did get some of the Studio Series boxes, which have a more thicker cardboard layer than the boxes last year. But now, of course, is the miscellaneous shelf. Yeah. This thing got a big update, as within 6 months, I did collect quite a lot of knockoffs, 3 of which being oversized. But anyways, on the left-hand side over here is quite a lot of Studio Series exclusives, meaning there were some that were released in Amazon or Target or even Universal. I also have the buzzworthy reissue of the Studio Series 44 Optimus Prime in his truck mode, because why not? And of course, the Gamer Edition stuff, minus Starscream. I might get him, but I won't do a review on him if I will. Over here, I do have a little more knockoffs, that being a few primes and the latest edition of the Beiwei 1022 Star Leader, and I have a few Megatrons and Spock, or illogically purple knockoff of Shockwave. And then I also have some more knockoffs, and that, I believe, has to be the most odd Transformers figure in my collection. Gotta have one of those. And then, of course, here's Beiwei, Ironhide, and Sentinel Prime, and some knockoffs of the Studio Series 38 Optimus Prime. These are underrated. Those are cool. And I have Beiwei. I do have another Beiwei Optimus Prime, but I have him jet-powered this time, as Beiwei did do a knockoff version of the Studio Series Jetfire, so I figured why not combine both the Beiwei Optimus Prime and the Beiwei Jetfire together. And this guy's new. I have a Beiwei oversized knockoff of the Studio Series Grimlock. Yeah, this guy's big. And then over here are some more knockoffs from Beiwei, except the one on the back. That's an MHZ oversized knockoff of the Studio Series 102 Optimus Prime. And then here's Beiwei's version of the Studio Series 102 Optimus Prime and the Studio Series 101 Scourge. And this time around, there's definitely more than 3 YOLO Park figures. I even got that AMK Pro X Series Ape-Link, which I just recently did a review on. Be sure to go check that video out. Almost forgot to mention, as you can see, Bumblebee has quite an update, as he has battle arms and a battle mask. So yeah, he looks much better now. Thanks a lot, cheater. And then if I could zoom in right there is the Masterpiece MPM Bumblebee movie. Bumblebee still in the corner of shame, because that's probably one of the weakest Masterpiece MPM figures. At least I got one. And of course, I was not going to forget about the big boy Devastator. Now, if anyone's wondering, no, this is not the box set Devastator. I did collect each individual Constructicon to combine into Devastator, as I was not going to pay some more money for a box set. I was already grinding to get all the other 8, as I was like only one figure short, that being Long Haul. I figured I'd have him on the miscellaneous shelf, as this would most certainly not fit in the Revenge of the Fallen shelf. No way. Perhaps if I had more space, I probably would have put him alongside the rest of the Revenge of the Fallen shelf. Now, he stays here. But anyways, unfortunately, I think that's just about it. I think that's every figure we covered for, maybe. I did forget to mention the OP01 knockoff of the 102 Prime. I put him back in his box. I did not see any reason for him to be in the shelves, as Beiwei's there to replace it. I really hope they do more repaints. Now, this time I did count, and it's a lot. It's much more. Like, around 225 more. I'm not joking. This is 225 figures from this shelf and the other one. And no, there's like no need to ask which figure is my favorite out of all of them, because I really can't decide. How about all of them are my favorite? I could make an exception for Barricade, though. But if you want, you could leave a comment down below which figure you liked the most out of this big video. And if you like what you saw in this video, be sure to slam that like button, share this with your friends as well. Turn on post notifications so that way you don't miss another upload. Let me know how I did in this video. And most importantly, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button as we slowly inch our way to 7K. But anyways, I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. See ya!